Hi, my name is Angel Ayala. I'm a veteran counselor at Tarrant County College, Trinity River campus. Today we're going to talk about information on the Hazlewood Act. We're going to talk about what it is, what does it cover, what are the eligibility requirements for veterans, what are the requirements for the child or spouse who will use the benefit, and what are the eligibility requirements for the Hazlewood legacy. Lastly, we'll talk about how to apply. So what is the Hazlewood Exemption Act? It's a state of Texas benefit that exempts qualified veterans and dependent children from specific tuition and fee charges at public institutions in the state of Texas. It's a maximum of 150 credit hours and may be awarded regardless of financial need. So what does it cover? It basically covers tuition. It does cover some fees and dues, but mainly tuition for up to 150 credit hours. It does not cover books. It is accepted at public institutions in the state of Texas. For example, Tarrant County College, University of Texas, UTA, or Tarleton State University. Unfortunately, it is not accepted at private institutions like TCU, Texas Wesleyan, or Dallas Baptist University. So the eligibility requirements for veterans are at the time of entry, or at the time that they entered the service, they must have entered in the state of Texas. They must have declared Texas as a home of record at the time of entry, or they must have been a resident of the state of Texas at the time of entry. So for instance, if they entered the service in Oklahoma, but they were a resident of Texas at the time, they may be eligible for benefits. They must have served at least 180 days of active duty service, which does not include basic training. They must be honorably discharged or discharged under honorable conditions, and they must not be in default of a state loan. So the eligibility requirements for a spouse or a child of a veteran who is KIA, MIA, or totally disabled for purposes of employability are that the spouse or child who will be using the benefit must be a Texas resident. They can each have their own set of 150 hours, and there is no age limit. Now the Legacy Act is different. The Legacy Act is an actual transfer of the benefits from the veteran to a child. So the veteran must be eligible for the Hazlewood Act. The veteran may only have one child using the benefit at a time. So they will be sharing a total of 150 credit hours. The recipient must be a biological child, stepchild, adopted child, or claimed as a dependent for the current or previous tax year on the IRS form. The recipient must be 25 years of age or younger on the first day of class. And the recipient must enroll in a degree or certificate program and maintain a satisfactory academic progress. The recipient must provide the veteran's DD-214 or equivalent documentation and must provide a death certificate if the veteran is deceased. How do you apply? Well, we go to the Texas Veterans Commission website. Remember, this benefit is specific to the state of Texas. So we don't go to the VA website. We go to www.tvc.texas.gov, or if you want, you could do a search for TVC. So let's go there now to apply. So here we are at the Texas Veterans Commission website. I've gone to tvc.texas.gov, and you can see the main screen of the Texas Veterans Commission website. And what we're going to do is this top bar, menu bar, we're going to look for education, and we're just going to let our pointer hover over the word education, and when it does, you can see a drop-down menu, and I'm going to choose Hazlewood. So I'm going to choose Hazlewood from the drop-down menu, and the page is loading, and this is the Hazlewood page. You can see that it talks about the Hazlewood Act. It tells you more about it, that it is up to 150 credit hours of tuition exemption. If I scroll down, it tells you more about the eligibility and the different dimensions of the eligibility requirements, and I'm going to scroll down some more until we get down to the resources section. The resources section is where we're going to be hanging out right now in order to get our paperwork documentation ready to submit to Tarrant County College. And if you go down to the forms, you're going to see Hazlewood application. So the Hazlewood application, the very first semester that you use this benefit, you're going to use the Hazlewood application. Every other semester after that, you're going to use the one that says application for continued enrollment. But however, the first time you use it, you're going to use that initial Hazlewood application. I'm going to click on that so you can kind of see what it looks like. And so what you're going to do is you're going to fill this form out. It tells you some more of the eligibility requirements. And then on the bottom, it gives you some information to fill out. And you can actually fill it out right here and then print it out. Or you can save it, because the best thing to do during the time that we're doing more of the virtual stuff is you want to be able to email your forms in during 2020. But once we get back to normal, we're going to be going back to manually, physically, in person, turning in your paperwork to the registrar's office. But for right now, during 2020, we're going to be turning things in virtually, so we'll be emailing our forms in. And so this is what the Hazlewood application looks like. You're going to fill this out. Okay, I'm going to go back to our page, which has our resources. So that's, once again, just to reiterate, the very first semester, you're going to use this Hazlewood application. Every subsequent or following semester, you will use the application for continued enrollment. Now, there's going to be something else that you're going to need to do along with the application. You're going to need to go to this veteran and student login. What you need to do is to create an account. First, create an account, and then you can go and log in. And what you're going to want to do is get a printout of your remaining hours. Now, if you're very first time using the Hazlewood application, or the Hazlewood exemption, you're going to have the full 150 hours. So it'll say you still have 150 hours remaining. Every semester after that, you will need to get, before you can use the benefit, you'll need to get an updated list of your remaining hours. So let me just go have a little summary here. So the very first semester that you use Hazlewood, you're going to come and you're going to do the Hazlewood application, and then you're going to create that login, and you're going to get a list of your remaining hours. So you'll take that application, you'll take the list of your remaining hours as well as your DD-214, and you're going to send that into the contact in the registrar's office. That's your first semester. Every semester after that you want to use your Hazlewood benefits, you're going to want to use the application for continued enrollment, and you're going to want to log in again and get your updated list of your remaining hours. Okay, so you'll want to take those two forms and send those into the registrar's office every semester after the first one. So remember, when you create that account for your TVC login, please make sure that you keep that information. So save it somewhere, because you're going to be using it every semester. For some reason, the TVC website is not very friendly when it comes to forgetting your password. Sometimes students have a lot of difficulty in retrieving their password or starting a new one. So it would behoove you to go ahead and write that down somewhere, and so that you can retrieve it very easily every semester. All right, so let's go back to our main PowerPoint. For more information on the Hazlewood Act, please visit our site at www.tccd.edu. Click on Services, click on Veteran Services, and click on Educational Benefits. Here you'll find a lot more questions, or a lot more answers to your questions, and a few more links to click on. Here are the resources for this presentation. And once again, my name is Angel Ayala. I'm a Veterans Counselor here at Trinity River Campus. Please let us know if you have any more questions. Give us a shout. There's the phone number and the email address. Also, we hope that this presentation was helpful for you today, and thank you for watching.